The National Prosecution Coordination Committee will ensure that there is a nexus between investigators and prosecutors to guarantee result-oriented prosecution of high-profile criminal cases. This will in turn guarantee that only matters with merit make it to court, and when they do, delays will be drastically reduced in the prosecution of these cases. My guest, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, Mr. Oladipo Okpesheyi, also believes that with the committee monitoring the prosecution of the cases, Nigerians will begin to see results and can then judge whether the committee has impact or not. But what do you think? Please feel free to share your views with us via any of our social media platforms. And just before we go, let's quickly do a recap now of some of the top trending stories from the courts.
We begin with a report that the federal government has sued Turkish Airlines before a federal high court sitting in Abuja over an alleged criminal violation of the rights of some Nigerian passengers and also for violating the enabling law of the Consumer Protection Council, CPC. The Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice, Abubakar Malami, SAN, filed a 3-count charge against the airline and 2 of its principal officers. The prosecution comes on the heels of the persistent refusal of Turkish Airlines to respond to lawful requests from the CPC for a full situation report on the airline's alleged shoddy treatment of passengers of Flight 623 from Istanbul to Abuja on December the 25th and the 31st, 2015, as well as January the 9th, 2016. This prompted the Council to approach the Office of the Attorney General of the Federation for the prosecution of the airline. In another case before the Federal High Court, the self-acclaimed leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, Mr. Nnamdi Kanu, has denounced any negotiation for his release by the Movement for the Emancipation of the Niger Delta, MEND. Kanu, however, says he is not averse to what he calls a political negotiation. Mr. Kanu is standing trial on a 6-count charge of treasonable felony, managing unlawful society and concealing goods. His lawyers, however, say he'll only enter into negotiation with the government if he is removed from incarceration, where he has been for over a year. From the Federal High Court, we move to the Court of Appeal, also sitting in Abuja. Last week, Monday, the court reserved judgment in the appeal filed by Dr. Okezie Ikpeazu, challenging his removal as governor of Abia State over allegations of tax fraud. A 5-man panel of justices of the court, led by Justice Helen Ogunwumiju, adjourned the suit for judgment after it heard 6 separate appeals that arose from the judgment of the Federal High Court delivered in Abuja on June the 27th. Trial Judge Justice Okon Abang had ordered Governor Ikpeazu to immediately vacate the governorship seat. At the same time, he directed the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, to issue a fresh certificate of return to Mr. Samson Oga, who came second in the governorship primary election of the People's Democratic Party conducted in Abia State on December the 8th, 2014. Justice Abang had said in his judgment that he was satisfied that Governor Ikpeazu committed perjury by giving false information in the form CF001 and documents accompanying it, which is submitted to both the PDP and INEC. In Lagos, the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission last week arraigned 3 companies allegedly used to perpetrate fraud by a former senior special assistant to President Goodluck Jonathan on domestic affairs, Mr. Waripamo Owe Emmanuel Dudafa. The 3 companies are Pluto Property and Investment Company Limited, Seagate Property Development and Investment Company Limited, and Transocean Property and Investment Company Limited. The anti-graft agency in the charge alleged that the companies were used to indirectly retain the total sum of $15,591,700, an offense contrary to Section 18A of the Money Laundering and Prohibition Amendment Act 2012 and punishable under Section 15, subsection 3 of the same Act. The EFCC presented 3 men to the court as directors of companies. The men initially pleaded guilty to the offense, but subsequently changed their minds and changed their plea to a not guilty one. The men also denied having any relationship with the companies. They went on to claim that they were not aware that their names and photographs were used to register the company and open bank accounts. The prosecution has asked the court for time to amend its charges, and the presiding judge, Justice Abdulaziz Anka, has adjourned further proceedings in the matter till Thursday, the 18th of this month. And we round off on the foreign scene, where trial has commenced last week, Wednesday, of 14 people over a deadly crane incident in Saudi Arabia that killed more than 100 people at Islam's holiest site in September 2015. The 14 are accused of negligence leading to death, damaging public property, and ignoring safety guidelines at the site of last year's crane collapse. The defendants include at least one Saudi billionaire and nationals from Pakistan, the Philippines, Canada, and several Arab countries. The criminal court sitting in Jeddah has ordered a new session for next month to allow the defense respond, even though the defendants have denied the charges against them, insisting the crane collapse was caused by inclement weather.
And this is where we end today's edition of the program. Don't forget that you can find these and past episodes of the program on our YouTube channel. Do also interact with us via email, Facebook, or Twitter. I'm Shola Sheeli. Thank you for watching.